Hey, what's up? It's your boy, 24/7 here with 24/7 Fusion Media. And today we'll be discussing something that's a little bit different that I know I've never really thought about, but here we are, right? Now, this article is coming from pricecharting.com. They've been around since 2007, if I'm not mistaken, and they are trackers for comic books, video games, baseball cards, and things of those sorts. So, with that being said, pricecharting.com did some research, and the article reads 300% increase in boob size on comic book cover art. And it's funny that they used Wonder Woman. Because to be real with y'all, I have all the comic books here that you see except for the first two that are listed. That 1942 and 1959. I don't have those, but the 1974 on, I own all those comics. So very, very interesting that they used Wonder Woman. But this is pretty awesome nevertheless. While loading tens of thousands of comic book covers to Price Charting's new online comics price guide, we noticed that the portrayal of female characters seemed to become much more racy as the decades passed. Curiosity got the best of us, so we ran a study to understand just what has changed about the female form in comics over time. You know, from science. What we found was significant but not unexpected. Modern day covers feature busts that consume more than triple the cover space and show twice the amount of cleavage compared to comic books from the mid-20th century, but that's not all we found. Holy shit. Yeah, this is a pretty good comic book. I own it. Yeah, if you guys aren't into classic Wonder Woman, I advise that you pick up some good old school Wonder Woman. Now, as we can see here, it looks like they have tracked the dimensions of some boobage. So they have length, height, looks like cleavage showing. They look like they have a hip kind of ratio thing going here and a waist ratio thing going here. So yeah, they basically taken the dimensions of Wonder Woman and I guess compared it from the 1950s all the way to the 2020s. So let's see what they've come up with. Methodology example with pixel measurements. Before sharing our other insights, here's how we got the data. We have selected 3 dominant comic book franchises that have represented large readers over the past 4 decades. Wonder Woman, Catwoman, and Red Sonja. We randomly select 10 covers from each decade of each comic. The covers needed to feature the character's full body. We then recorded pixel measurements for breast height and width, cleavage width, waist width, hip width, and cover width. We compiled the data. Wonder Woman, 88 covers, 616 data points. Catwoman, 35 covers, 245 data points. And Red Sonja, 59 covers, 413 data points. Okay, so as the results, this is what they found. Wonder Woman, Catwoman, and Red Sonja. So as you can see, the breast cover width is going up in the charts. The percentage of cleavage shown has went up in the charts. The hip to waist ratio has went up and down, but basically it stayed almost the same. Do you know what you'll find drastically has changed when you look at these numbers? Is that you'll find that when it comes to, you could kind of, let's say, the year 2000, the year 2010 going into 2020, that the boob size have went down. And why have they went down? Because that's when our comic book industry started getting taken over by blue-haired land whales that actually requested and fought as being a part of the comic book industry that women should not be demoralized with having breast and boobs and booty showing all over the place. So at that point, they stopped doing it less and stopped selling comic books. So that's really what happened. Take it or leave it. That's the truth, amongst other things. So yeah, let's see what's going on with this though. Since the early era of female dominant comics, the amount of cover attention placed on the bust has steadily increased. The decade beginning 2010 was the most prominent decade for breasts, as nearly 30% of the cover width was occupied by bosoms. Yeah, these people really know their shit, huh? Cover artists took great liberty with breasts in the decade beginning 2010, as both percentage of cover and percentage of cleavage peaked during that time frame. Perhaps artists have since felt the pressure to normalize the look of their female characters, as both metrics have begun to recede moving into the 2020s. Huh. Felt the pressure of normalizing, huh? Is that what you call it? That's very interesting. Very interesting. It just sounds like normalizing sounds like it got hit with the SJWs. And at that point, everything's been kind of downhill from there. So as they continue, we recorded hip to waist ratio for these three characters as well, and we're surprised to observe not much change over time. We had guessed that women would have filled out in the waist since the early days, where pencil thin waists were all the rage. Yeah, I understand. We weren't certain that these three characters represented larger trends in all female forward series, so we added 12 other characters into the study, albeit with smaller sample size. We randomly selected 2 covers across each decade for these new characters, and in total, 124 additional covers from our archive, 868 data points, adding them to the study with data samples from the first 3 females. We see some evident trends. All right, let's see who they added to the mix. So here are your 15 females all together that were added into the mix from different comic book companies, different eras, and different backgrounds. So let's see what they come up with. Black Canary, Catwoman, Harley Quinn, Power Girl, Red Sonja, Starfire, okay. Vampirilla, Wonder Woman, Zatanna, okay. Batgirl, Black Widow, Elektra, She-Hulk, cool. Storm, okay. And Supergirl, interesting. Very interesting. And as you can see, yeah, they're basically about the same all the way across with the data. So, at least we get to find out there is some good information here on comic book boobies. And I'm actually, and I'm pretty intrigued by it all. Filling in these other characters paints a more complete story of the key trends in how the portrayal of women in comics have evolved over time, comparing modern day 2010 plus to the early comics from the 1940s to the 1960s. We observe from the green tread lines. I guess observation 1, busts occupy more than triple the cover space today. Observation 2, the amount of cleavage shown has more than doubled. Cleavage of greater than 50% was not observed until the 1970s, at which point it became relatively common. In observation 3, women actually did fill out in the waist over time. Hip-waist ratio declined by 15%. And observation number 4 is breast-waist ratio has remained the same. As breasts have grown, so have waists. Okay, all right. So this study was a fun project we pulled together over the course of a couple of weeks in our spare time. It's not been rigorously statistically tested, and the results could have been sharpened with an expanded data set. Additionally, we'd love to run a similar study about how the male dimensions have also adapted over time. All caveats aside, this first pass is a reliable early look at how cover women have changed in the comic media's eye over time. It all begs the question, have illustrators hit the maximum allowable peak of racy imagery, or is there still more to come? Very good question. Very good question. So I guess these are the Catwoman comic books that were pulled from. I have a few of these. And these are the Red Sonja comic book covers that were pulled. So these people actually pulled some very good covers. Wow, look at Red Sonja. These guys did a very good job with their data and helping us see how women's breasts have grown 300% since the 50s all the way to now. So this is very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what they come up with when they do their male body parts section, here one of these days. I'll be looking forward to that. But for now, we get to see what female comic book characters on comic book covers, how they've changed over the last 70 years. Very, very interesting. So you guys let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Are you interested in these findings? Do you enjoy knowing that, hey, 300% more boobage over the last 70 years? Are you upset that since the 2010s all the way to now, boobies have gotten smaller and less on the comic book covers? Like I say, you guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please share, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. It's your boy, 24/7 here with 24/7 Fusion Media, and I'm out. Peace.